Are you prepared for the unexpected? Whether it's a natural disaster, economic uncertainty, or any emergency, having a stockpile of essential survival foods is crucial for you and your family's safety. In this video, we're sharing the 20 long-term survival foods you absolutely need to have in your inventory. These items are not only nutritious, but have amazing shelf lives, ensuring you stay prepared for the long haul. Don't wait until it's too late. Get ahead and be ready. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more survival tips and preparedness strategies. 1. Freeze-dried meals. When I think about long-term survival food options, freeze-dried meals always come to mind first. They're incredibly convenient and boast an impressive shelf life, often lasting over 25 years when stored properly. These meals are lightweight, easy to transport, and typically only require adding water to prepare, which is invaluable in survival. The variety available is also remarkable. You can find everything from breakfasts to hearty dinners like beef stroganoff or pasta dishes. However, I have to admit that freeze-dried meals can be quite expensive, especially if you're aiming to stockpile enough food to last months or even years. For large-scale preparations, the cost can quickly add up, so they're not always the most economical choice. That's why I try to balance my survival supplies with other options. While freeze-dried meals are convenient, I also rely on canned goods and packaging my own dry goods to stretch my budget further. For me, freeze-dried meals serve as a great supplement to my stockpile, a luxury for variety and convenience rather than a primary source of sustenance. Still, having a few on hand can bring peace of mind, knowing I'll have ready-to-eat meals, even in the most challenging conditions. 2. Rice. When it comes to long-term storage foods, rice is one of my absolute essentials. It's not just versatile, but also a true survival food, offering a dependable source of carbohydrates and energy. I always focus on white varieties like jasmine, basmati, or long-grain white rice because they have an incredibly long shelf life when stored correctly. By sealing them in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, they can last over 20 years, which gives me peace of mind knowing I'll always have something reliable in my stockpile. On the other hand, while brown rice is packed with extra nutrients like fiber and vitamins due to its bran layer, I'm cautious about including it in my long-term plans. Its higher oil content significantly reduces its shelf life, making it more prone to spoilage compared to white rice. That being said, I still keep a small amount of brown rice on hand for shorter-term use, as it's a highly nutritious option. Rice's versatility is what makes it a must for me. It can be paired with almost any protein, vegetables, or seasonings, and it keeps hunger at bay effectively. For any survival food list, rice is non-negotiable in my book. 3. Beans and lentils. When it comes to stocking up on survival foods, I always prioritize beans and lentils. These humble yet powerful staples are more than just a pantry filler. They're a nutritional powerhouse. I lean heavily toward beans like pinto, black, and lima, because they bring so much variety to my diet while packing a punch of essential nutrients such as protein, fiber, and iron. What I love about them is their versatility. They can complement a wide range of meals or even stand alone as a hearty dish. Lentils hold a special place in my stockpile as well. They're quicker to prepare than beans and easier to digest, which is critical in situations where resources like time and fuel might be limited. When paired with rice, lentils form a complete protein, providing all the essential amino acids my body needs to stay strong and healthy during long-term survival scenarios. Not to mention, their long shelf life ensures they remain viable for years if stored properly. Beans and lentils are cost-efficient, filling, and packed with nutrition, making them an irreplaceable part of any survival food storage plan. For me, keeping a healthy stock of them means peace of mind and nourishment for the road ahead. 4. Wheat berries and flour. Wheat berries are an essential survival food and one of my personal favorites to stockpile. They're the whole, unprocessed kernels of wheat, meaning they have an incredibly long shelf life when stored properly. Their longevity makes them a reliable staple, ensuring food security in the long term. I always ensure they're kept in airtight containers, stored in a cool, dry place to preserve their freshness and nutritional value. What I love about wheat berries is their versatility. They can be cooked and used in meals as they are, or ground into flour for baking. However, the key to using wheat berries effectively is the ability to grind them into flour when needed. That requires a manual grain mill, something I highly recommend investing in if you're serious about preparedness. I keep one on hand specifically for this purpose. Flour, on the other hand, has a much shorter shelf life compared to wheat berries. While it's convenient and useful for quick cooking, I consider it a secondary option. Stocking wheat berries gives you the flexibility to produce fresh flour when needed, making them a crucial addition to any survival food storage plan. 5. Pasta and quinoa. When it comes to long-term survival foods, pasta and quinoa are absolute staples that I always make sure to stockpile. Dry pasta, whether it's your regular wheat-based kind or gluten-free alternatives, has an incredible shelf life of up to 20 years if stored properly. This makes it one of the most reliable carbs for emergency situations. It's easy to cook, incredibly versatile, and can pair with countless sauces or proteins to create a hearty and satisfying meal even in tough times. On the other hand, quinoa is a bit of an underdog in many households, but I consider it a powerhouse survival food. Not only is it nutrient-dense, packed with protein, fiber, and essential amino acids, but it's also versatile enough to be used in both savory and sweet dishes. Quinoa is gluten-free, making it an excellent grain substitute for those with dietary restrictions. While it might not be as universally familiar as pasta, it's worth having in your stockpile for its nutritional value alone. Both pasta and quinoa are lightweight, easy to store when kept in airtight containers, and highly beneficial in emergencies. They ensure you have sustaining, nutritious options that can keep you going no matter the scenario. 6. Oats and corn. When it comes to long-term survival food, oats and corn are absolute staples that I always make room for in my stockpile. Rolled or instant oats, for instance, are incredibly versatile and can last up to 30 years if stored properly in airtight containers with minimal exposure to moisture. Oats are not only nutritious, providing essential fiber and nutrients, but they can also be used in countless recipes. From breakfast porridge to baked goods, I find them invaluable for both their long shelf life and their ability to keep me full and energized. Corn is another powerhouse when it comes to long-term storage. Field corn in particular is an excellent choice. It can be ground into cornmeal or used to make tortillas, cornbread, or even as animal feed if needed. However, I'm careful when storing cornmeal because it doesn't last as long and requires extra attention to avoid spoilage or botulism. Vacuum sealing or using oxygen absorbers in a dry, cool environment goes a long way to preserve its quality. Both oats and corn are fantastic fillers and essential components of my survival food plan, ensuring I have reliable, hearty options to turn to in challenging times. 7. Comfort foods and spices. When thinking about survival foods, it's easy to focus solely on the basics for sustenance. But comfort foods and spices can make a world of difference in morale and meal variety during tough times. For me, having something like instant potatoes brings a sense of normalcy to meals. They're lightweight, store well, and can be quickly prepared with water. Plus, adding a little spice can transform bland dishes into something flavorful and satisfying. Spices are a must-have in any stockpile. Not only do they last an incredibly long time, anywhere from 2 to 10 years when stored in Mylar bags, but they require little space and can elevate even the simplest foods. To preserve them properly, I ensure they're kept dry and avoid using oxygen absorbers, since these can cause clumping. A dash of pepper, paprika, or cinnamon can brighten both taste buds and spirits. For me, it's more than just nutrition. It's about creating meals that offer comfort and enjoyment even in challenging circumstances. Stocking up on the right variety of comfort foods and spices provides that little extra edge in making survival situations more bearable. After all, a warm, flavorful meal can do wonders for anyone's outlook. 8. Salt and sugar. When it comes to long-term survival foods, salt and sugar are absolute essentials that should be part of any stockpile. The beauty of these staples is that they last indefinitely under the right storage conditions. Salt, for instance, is incredibly versatile. Not only does it enhance flavor, but it can also be used for preserving food, curing meats, or even for medicinal purposes. However, it's important to remember that iodized salt, while still safe to use over time, loses its iodine potency. This doesn't make it unusable, but it's worth keeping in mind if you're relying on it for nutritional benefits. Sugar, on the other hand, is another timeless ingredient when stored properly. Whether you're sweetening up your coffee, baking, or making preserves, sugar retains its usability for decades. A word of caution, though. Both salt and sugar can clump if exposed to moisture or oxygen. I make sure to store them in airtight containers and avoid using oxygen absorbers, especially for sugar, as this can cause it to form hard lumps. These two items are cheap, readily available, and indispensable in a survival situation. Stock up on them now and you'll have key tools for nutrition and food preparation at your fingertips no matter what the future holds. 9. Drink mixes and coffee. When planning for long-term survival, I can't overstate the importance of stocking up on drink mixes and coffee. These may seem like minor items compared to staple foods, but they provide significant benefits that go beyond simple hydration. Sport drink mixes, for example, are invaluable for replenishing electrolytes, especially when you're exerting yourself physically or dealing with hot weather. They can help maintain energy levels and proper bodily functions when water alone isn't enough. Electrolyte imbalances can have serious consequences, so having these mixes on hand is a smart and practical choice. Additionally, instant coffee is an underrated survival food. For me, coffee is not just a source of caffeine, it's also a morale booster. When the days are long and stressful, there's something comforting and grounding about starting the day with a warm cup of coffee. Instant coffee has an impressively long shelf life and is incredibly easy to prepare, making it ideal for survival situations. It also provides a quick hit of energy when needed, helping you stay alert and focused when it matters most. What I like about these drink options is that they're lightweight and easy to store. Both powdered drink mixes and instant coffee take up very little space and can be packed efficiently alongside other survival supplies. They're versatile, too. You can mix them with water or even add them to your food recipes if you want to boost flavor or energy content. For anyone building a stockpile, I'd say drink mixes and coffee are a must. They're more than just convenience items. They're essential tools for maintaining physical health and mental well-being in a survival situation. Having them on hand means being better prepared for whatever challenges come your way. 10. Powdered milk and JellO. Powdered milk is one of those survival food items I firmly believe everyone needs to stockpile. Why? For starters, its shelf life is incredible. It lasts anywhere from 15 to 20 years if stored properly. That means no worrying about your milk spoiling quickly, especially during emergencies or long-term survival scenarios. It's also incredible you can use powdered milk to make everything from coffee creamer to creamy soups, sauces, and even baked goods. Plus, it provides essential nutrients like calcium and protein, which are crucial when food supplies are limited. It's the kind of staple that can turn even the most basic meal into something more nutritious and filling. On the other hand, JellO powder may seem like an unusual addition to a survival stockpile, but trust me, it has its place. Sure, it's not the most calorie-dense or nutrient-rich option, but morale-boosting foods are just as important as the essentials during tough times. Having a quick, easy, and sweet dessert like JellO can provide a much-needed emotional lift. It's lightweight, stores well, and takes hardly any space in your pantry. Plus, if you're trying to make a meal feel a little special or different, a simple dessert can go a long way. Together, powdered milk and JellO powder offer versatility and practicality. The powdered milk is your go-to for sustaining nutrients and enhancing meals, while JellO brings a bit of joy when you need it most. These items showcase the importance of stocking both essentials and small comforts in your long-term survival food stash. If you haven't added these to your pantry yet, I highly recommend you do so. You'll thank yourself later. 11. Split peas. Split peas are one of my go-to staples for long-term survival food. Not only are they incredibly versatile, but they also pack a serious nutritional punch. On their own, split peas form a nearly complete protein, making them an excellent option for a well-rounded diet when other protein sources might be limited. I love how they're both lightweight and affordable, which makes it easy to stockpile without breaking the bank. When I plan my emergency meals, split peas always come to mind for hearty stews and soups. They cook down nicely, creating a thick and satisfying texture that helps stretch meals while keeping me full and energized. Plus, split peas have an extremely long shelf life when stored properly in a cool, dry place, so I never have to worry about them going bad. I also value how easy they are to prepare. With just water and heat, these little legumes can transform into a nutritious and delicious meal. Whether you're planning for a power outage, a camping trip, or just stocking up for the unexpected, split peas are an absolute must-have in any pantry. They're simple, nourishing, and incredibly practical for long-term survival. 12. Powdered eggs. Powdered eggs are an absolute essential when it comes to stockpiling long-term survival foods. I consider them one of the most versatile and practical items to keep on hand. Not only are they packed with protein and calcium, making them a nutritious choice, but their incredibly long shelf life when freeze-dried means I can rely on them for years without worrying about spoilage. Powdered eggs, they also take up much less space than regular eggs, making storage efficient and convenient. What I really love about powdered eggs is their ability to work in almost any recipe. Whether I'm whipping up scrambled eggs, baking a cake, or adding them as an ingredient in soups and casseroles, they perform just like fresh eggs once rehydrated. Plus, they're lightweight, which makes them easy to transport in a survival situation or camping trip. For me, having powdered eggs in my stockpile brings peace of mind, because they provide a steady source of essential nutrients while being incredibly easy to prepare. I always ensure they're stored properly in airtight containers, away from heat and moisture, to maximize their lifespan. They've earned their place as a reliable and indispensable part of my emergency food supplies. 13. Peanut butter powder. Peanut butter powder is one of my favorite items to include in a long-term food stockpile. It's lightweight, which makes it easy to store and transport, and it's an excellent source of protein and healthy fats. These nutrients are essential for maintaining energy and overall health, especially in survival situations. What I love most about it is how all you need is water to rehydrate it, and you've got a creamy peanut butter substitute ready to use. You can mix it into oatmeal, smoothies, or even baked goods to add flavor and nutrition. It's also great as a topping for crackers or bread, making it a practical and convenient option in an emergency. Since peanut butter powder has a lower fat content than regular peanut butter, it has a much longer shelf life, which is a huge advantage for long-term storage. Just make sure to store it in an airtight container in a cool, dark place to maximize its longevity. For anyone serious about building a well-rounded survival food supply, peanut butter powder is a smart and reliable choice that offers both nutrition and flexibility when you need it most. 14. Chocolate powder. Chocolate powder is one of my favorite items to stockpile, and for good reason. Not only is it long-lasting when stored properly, but it is also incredibly versatile. Whether I want to whip up a comforting hot chocolate on a cold day or add a sweet and rich flavor to my baking, chocolate powder never disappoints. For anyone with a sweet tooth, it's an excellent morale booster in tough times, adding a sense of normalcy to difficult situations. What I love most about stocking chocolate powder is how easy it is to store. Kept in a cool, dry, and airtight container, it can last for years without going bad. Plus, it doesn't take up much space in my pantry, making it ideal for long-term storage plans. On top of that, it's packed with antioxidants and can be fortified with milk or other ingredients for an energy-boosting treat. Whether enjoyed as a standalone beverage or incorporated into survival recipes like desserts or quick snacks, chocolate powder offers comfort, energy, and flavor I can rely on. When I think about durable and multi-purpose survival foods, this simple addition to my stockpile is always a must-have. To me, it's a small luxury in times of need. 15-15. Electrolyte drink mixes. Electrolyte drink mixes are a must-have in any long-term survival stockpile. When we're faced with situations that push our physical limits, whether it's extreme heat, intense exertion, or even illnesses causing dehydration, our bodies lose essential salts and minerals faster than we can replace them. That's where these mixes come to the rescue. They're designed to replenish those vital electrolytes, ensuring we stay hydrated and our bodies keep functioning properly. What I love most about electrolyte drink mixes is how easy they are to store and use. Unlike some other items, they don't require oxygen absorbers to maintain their shelf life, making the storage process straightforward. I can just seal them in airtight containers or bags and forget about them until I need them. Plus, their compact nature means they don't take up much space in my stockpile, leaving room for other essentials. Whether I'm preparing for a natural disaster, camping in the wilderness, or building my emergency reserves, having electrolyte drinks on hand provides peace of mind. They're not only practical, but could be life-saving when water alone isn't enough. Staying hydrated is key, and I wouldn't want to face any survival situation without this essential item. 16. Dehydrated vegetables. When it comes to long-term survival foods, dehydrated vegetables are an absolute game-changer. I love how lightweight they are, making them easy to store and transport, which is essential for any emergency preparedness plan. Dehydration locks in the vegetables' nutrients while removing the moisture, giving them an incredible shelf life of over 20 years if stored properly. This shelf life is invaluable when planning for unpredictable situations. What I appreciate most is the versatility dehydrated vegetables bring to the table. They're perfect for soups, stews, casseroles, or even as an added boost to rice or pasta dishes. Rehydrating them is as simple as soaking them in water, and they retain much of their original flavor and texture. Having these on hand ensures access to essential vitamins and minerals, which can be a challenge during extended emergencies. Another reason I recommend dehydrated vegetables is their cost-effectiveness. Bulk purchasing and proper storage can save money while giving peace of mind. They're also a great option for those who prefer making their own stockpile. Whether you're preparing for an emergency or just love the idea of self-reliance, dehydrated vegetables are a staple everyone should include in their survival plan. 17. Heirloom Seeds. Heirloom seeds are an essential part of any long-term survival strategy, especially if a disaster extends for months or even years. These seeds are unique because they are open-pollinated and non-hybrid, meaning they can be saved and replanted year after year without losing their quality. Unlike genetically modified or hybrid seeds, heirloom seeds produce plants that grow true to type, maintaining consistent quality and taste with each harvest. When stocking up for survival, I always prioritize heirloom seeds because they provide a sustainable solution for food production. With these seeds, I can grow my own supply of fresh produce such as vegetables, fruits, and herbs. Not only does this ensure a steady source of nutritious food, but it also reduces reliance on stored goods, which can eventually run out. I also appreciate how heirloom seeds contribute to self-sufficiency. By planting a variety of crops, I can rotate and diversify my food supply, tailoring it to my climate and soil conditions. It's a long-term investment in survival and gardening skills. To be prepared, I make sure to store my heirloom seeds in a cool, dry place to maintain their viability until needed. They're a life-saving resource in any emergency. 18. Coconut or vegetable oil. When planning for long-term survival, keeping a stockpile of cooking oils, such as coconut or vegetable oil, is essential. These oils are incredibly versatile and form the foundation of many meals, whether you're frying, baking, or sautéing. Coconut oil in particular has a slightly longer shelf life of up to 2 years when stored properly, and it offers additional benefits such as being resistant to high heats. Vegetable oil, while more common and affordable, typically has a shelf life of 1 to 2 years, so rotating your supply is non-negotiable to ensure you always have a fresh batch on hand. I make sure to store my oils in cool, dark places to preserve their quality for as long as possible. I also prefer smaller bottles over larger ones to minimize waste if a bottle turns rancid. Learning to recognize the signs of rancidity, like off smells or changes in consistency, has been key for managing my stockpile. While oils are critical for cooking and nutrition, I also recognize their other uses, such as improvising oil lamps or even protecting metal tools from rust. Coconut and vegetable oil are not just pantry staples, they're survival, multi-purpose essentials that no one should overlook. 19. Bouillon or stock powder. Bouillon or stock powder is one of the most versatile and essential items you can have in your survival food stockpile. I always make sure I have plenty of it because it adds an incredible depth of flavor to almost any dish. Whether I'm making a hearty soup, a savory stew, or even just jazzing up some plain rice or pasta, a little bouillon powder goes a long way. It's not just about taste. During challenging times, having flavorful meals can provide a much-needed morale boost. What makes bouillon powder so valuable is its long shelf life and compact size. I can store several jars or packets of it without taking up much space, which is crucial when planning for long-term food storage. Plus, it's incredibly easy to use. All it takes is a spoonful dissolved in hot water to create a ready-to-use stock. For those days when ingredients are scarce, a simple broth made from bouillon can serve as a comforting, nourishing meal all on its own. When building my food stockpile, I prioritize certain varieties like chicken, beef, and vegetable flavors to keep things interesting. Bouillon powder truly is a lifesaver for any survival scenario. 20. Protein bars and meal replacement supplements. When it comes to long-term survival food, protein bars and meal replacement supplements are absolute must-haves in your stockpile. I love how these items are compact and incredibly calorie-dense, making them perfect for situations where space and weight are critical. Whether you're on the move or hunkered down at home, these energy-packed options provide a quick, nutritious meal without requiring any cooking or preparation. Protein bars are particularly great because they come in a variety of flavors, so you can keep your pantry interesting while ensuring you meet your daily protein and calorie needs. Meanwhile, meal replacement powders or ready-to-drink shakes are excellent for a more balanced nutritional profile, as many are fortified with essential vitamins and minerals. I always make sure to choose options with a long shelf life to ensure they stay fresh for years. What's also nice is that they're easy to ration during emergencies, allowing you to control your portions and conserve your supply. These items are a practical, reliable safety net for any situation where traditional food sources may not be available. From my perspective, stocking up on protein bars and meal replacement supplements is one of the smartest moves to prepare for an uncertain future.